The main idea of it is just to be a tank, and the thing to open the door is just on the inside. So the main idea is for one person to be in it at all times.
To use a vacuum former to make a lightweight cover
For a quadcopter.
or a quadcopter. Yes. These are 3D printed parts for a CNC router, Delta style. These are arm ends. Here's a gear that I printed. It came out very well. Nice details. I think the belt's going to ride on it really well.
So you're making your own CNC router?
That's correct.
Here's some sketchbooks from my travels in China. This was from Chongqing, Chongqing and Chengdu, and some other small vernacular towns who are exploring some of the
Yes, the part is coming.
ancient temples and parks.
Parking and logistics.
Areas there.
Okay.
So you drew all these?
Yeah. This was drawn over like maybe several months at a time, or not several months. It was like several days. We'd like go to one spot and start sketching for a while. So each sketch was sort of adding on to the other one. And that was something our professors were always sort of urging us to do, is to sort of transform a plan into a section, into a perspective.
So what are you working on tonight?
Tonight we're just looking at these sort of different binding styles because we want to.
He's not a nerd. He's not a
Adam and I are talking about binding a book. That's one of the things I do. I bind books, so yes, these are some of the books I've bound recently.
Cool. So you're talking about doing book binding. Can you show me what's special about these bindings?
This one right here is an attempt to emulate what's referred to as Gothic style binding. The signatures, that's these little groups of pages here, are sewed to two other straps here and here, and those other straps are fed through a wooden cover, and then back to the other side, and then I wrapped the whole, or then I obviously covered the whole thing in leather. So.
Well, I'm trying to build a little levitator, so electromagnet coil, and then levitate a little lump of metal. So the basics are you need some IR diode and IR transistor over here, and then so you can tell where the part is, and then also modulate the coil.
Fantastic. And so what pieces are you working on tonight?
The basics, just sort of the IR transmitter and the IR receiver. Just trying to get those to work with an Arduino Due.
I'm just doing tweaks on the Aquanaut, the waterproof quadcopter. Just going in and changing some code settings and trying to get it fly a little smoother and a little more responsive, even though it is quite well. You can see the video that we shot earlier of us flying around on it on our HackerSpace Facebook page.
Tell me what you're working on.
All right, so I'm printing actually a box for my multi-Wii flight controller for my quadcopter. So this is the top of the box. It's going to actually clip. It's going to have clips and everything, so you can snap the controller in and it holds it in place. Snap it in the quadcopter. Didn't have to buy the key.
So this is going to be the connector or the cover.
Right. That holds the flight controller in place.
So what are you making tonight?
So it's a system for tracking kids in crowded spaces. So it's a bracelet that will vibrate if your kid gets more than, let's say 20 feet away from you. So
Can you show me the pieces?
Yeah. So we have all of the resistors and the vibrator motor and the timer and the battery. And we may put a little light in there too.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Thank you. What are you working on? What is this thing?
This is a HP logic analyzer system. It's got a pattern generator, logic analyzer, and oscilloscope. Just playing around with it, testing it out, see how it works.
I'm working on developing an idea to help hackers participate in a hackathon. We're calling it the Code Challenge, but I had a concept thought on the way over here that said, do hackers or makers want to develop rapidly like software developers want to develop rapidly, and what could be developed in the course of 36 hours during social mobile engagement at the Marriott Water Center?
Oh, okay. Yeah, this is going to be what's called a data monster, and it'll look like when it's done, it'll look like this right here, and it's a little robot that responds to internet stimulus. You can program it to run off a stream of anything. The brain for it is a microcontroller, the Intel Galileo, right there. So this is the new thing, and the body of it all comes as one piece. I ordered it to be laser cut from Pinocchio. So these pieces are going to come out, and we're going to fill it with servos and wires and see if it works.
I am failing to melt aluminum.
How are you trying to melt the aluminum?
Well, I've got a forge that I've made, or what's not a forge actually, and well, I guess I've got this propane tank that's, trying to keep that up and stuff, and it's not working.
What am I looking at? What's that metal?
Well, that's aluminum foil.
Oh, okay.
I just used that to form the general shape. I was hoping to melt it out, and it's not melting.
And what are you going to do with it once it's melted?
Cast things, hinges, little parts for the bookmaking stuff I do.